Today I'm going to show you how to play Freebird by Lynyrd Skynyrd. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to play Freebird by Lynyrd Skynyrd. This is a great song by Lynyrd Skynyrd. It's a classic, and I know everybody's saying, why are you showing us how to play Freebird? Well, man, if you're in a gig in Nashville and you play Freebird, it's $100 to get it played. I mean, that's $100 in your tip jar, so I encourage everybody to play Freebird so you can make that tip money. But anyway, you know, it's just a great song, and Lynyrd Skynyrd is a fantastic band. I was actually really influenced by Lynyrd Skynyrd as an early player in my career, long time ago, and I still love Lynyrd Skynyrd, man. It's great stuff. So without further ado, let's take a look at it, right? Freebird is in standard tuning, and it's in the key of G major, like this. All right, and it's interesting because the song is in G major, but the hook in this song is they play an F major chord in one part, which is a dominant 7 chord in the key of G major, so they kind of modulate during the verse of the song, and it works out great. I'm going to show you how to play the verse and the choruses, and then the ending has a really cool kind of a modulation to G minor. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to teach you how to play the beginning solo. I'm going to show you how to do it with and without a slide. I'm not Ry Cooder. I'm not a pimple on Ry Cooder's ass as far as playing slide, but you know, anybody can play slide if they practice it enough, and this song's not super difficult on slide. It's tricky. I'm going to show you how to do it on slide so you can master it, and then I'm going to give you some tips on soloing in G minor. It works in southern rock songs, and you can apply it to metal and rock and all kinds of genres. But I'm going to show you some tips on some of the licks that they do in the song as well. So let's take a look at the verse. I'm going to kind of go through this verse and chorus a little quick because it's pretty simple. I'm going to focus on doing the solo in the beginning as well. All right, so the song starts off with G major. I'm playing it like this, very mellow. Then there's a D with an F sharp on the bass, and then an E minor. Then here comes that dominant 7, the F major, then a C to a D major, then a D sus4. Now if you're playing this in a band, they have an organ in this and an acoustic guitar, but you know, you can build it up. It starts real mellow. One guy could be strumming like this, and then one guy could be doing arpeggios. One thing that I like to do is I like to strum the chord and then do upstrokes on the high strings, like go down the 4 high strings, then and on this F you can go. On the F you could add this G on here as well, up here, or you can just go. The D with the F sharp on the bass, I play it like this. I'm taking my middle finger on the A string, or the A note on the G string, and then my ring finger here on this D. So I play it like this, and I'm playing an open E. So it's a D sus2, and I'm going to put my pointer finger on this F sharp, so I can play that chord like that. I don't know if they do that on the record, but I like the way that sounds. All right, so there's the verse. That's also the intro where they do the really pretty slide part. So they do the verse, then they do a chorus. And when they go back in that verse again, the slide part plays once again. Then they go back into a lot more verses and then back into a chorus. And a lot of times during the verses, you can hear them playing that same slide melody underneath the vocals, you know, that Ronnie Van Zant is singing over. Is it Johnny Van Zant or Ronnie Van Zant? I can't remember. Sorry, I'm a Skynyrd fan, but I've played with one of them before, but I never met. Anyway, I digress. So the chorus, when he goes, and this bird you cannot change. Ronnie Van Zant. Oh Lord, I can't change. All right, so the chorus essentially is F to C to a D. They play that multiple times. Oh Lord, I can't change. Then it goes back into the verse. And there's going to be the slide part. Okay, so it repeats that all over again. So it does that whole verse and then the F, C to D several times. Now before the at the big grand finale in the end when they're playing the solos, right? It comes out of this when he goes, and this bird you cannot change. They ride on a D. And this bird you cannot change. And they modulate to G minor. They go. So they're going G, B flat to a C, and they just ride on that C for a few bars, right? And then they go back to the G. What makes this a G minor is the B flat chord. So a G minor chord is a G, a B flat, and a D. But in the beginning, we're doing G, B, natural D, but they modulate this B flat. It's a B flat 5, and that's a C5, and that's a G5. It's a power chord. The reason it's called a 5 chord is it's a root, a fifth, and a root. So it's just comprised of root, fifth, and root. There's no third in the chord, but that B flat gives us that tonality of G minor. So we're going to be playing in G minor pentatonic. The slide part in the beginning is in G major, but he plays to that F dominant 7 chord, so he's kind of doing a G mixolydian, G major, G mixolydian type thing, okay? So there's the verse and the choruses and that big ending. All right, it almost sounds like they want to go. And you could do that with your band. You could always do some punches and go to that F, back to that G, but they never do that. They just stick to the G, B flat, C. The bass player's kind of going all over the place and having fun with it. All right, cool. So let's take a look at this middle, or not the middle, the solo in the beginning and the solo that comes back in the next. It does like a double intro solo, and then they play this theme throughout the verses a lot. I'm going to show you how to play it on the frets with your fingers first. I'm going to show you how to play it with slide. When you're learning the slide part, it's really important to sit down and learn how to play it with your fingers first and learn the notes so you know where the melody is. And once you know the melody and where to play it, then you can work on your slide part. So the melody is like this. I'm going to play it straight, melody straight, which will have like less inflection, but I'm going to then show you how you can kind of emulate a slide with your hands, with your bending, because really slide is just sliding into notes. That's why they call it a slide. But bending emulates a slide. But I'm going to show you how to play it straight, which is kind of, doesn't have a lot of feel to it, but I'm going to show you how you can emulate if you don't want to play slide or if you don't own one. So the melody in the beginning goes, when he's going. All right, the introduction of the song, he goes. Repeat that, okay? So what I'm doing there is I'm on the 12th fret on the G string. I'm going to go to 11, then go. That's 11, 12, 11, 9, 7. It's all on the G string. Then go 11, 7, 9. So once again. I'm going 9, 7 on the G, and then 9 on the D, twice, slide it up to the 10th on the D, then 10 on the G. I'm going 10, 9, and then 10, 10 on the A and the D, at the D and the A. So from the beginning. That's 10, 10 on the A and the D. Slide up to the 12th on the D, and then up here is the high D on the 15th on the B string. I'm going 15, 14, and then 14 on the G, and then back to the 15 on the B. So all together, once again, is now if I bend into these notes, you can make it sound like a slide, like this. So what I did is I started on the 11th fret on the G, but I bent right into the 12th. Then I release, and then bend up again. I bend up and release, hammer off. A lot of sliding in there. If you watch my right hand, there's very little going on. Then go. I start on the 14th fret on the B string. And I bend up to the 15th. Like that. So that's how you emulate a slide. So now let me show you with the slide. Now to make slides sound good, in my opinion, you have to have high gain, but you got to roll back. This sound that I've got going on right now is pretty high gain. I mean, if you listen to it, it's I've rolled back. You know, when I was doing the clean part in the beginning, I'm rolled back so it cleans up. That's what they did in the 70s. That's what we did in the 80s. We still do it to this day. I mean, that's how you remain with a lot of headroom in your amp, and it sounds, you know, the tone sounds good that way, right? So I'm going to roll back my distortion with my volume a little bit, so my sound is kind of like that. It helps have a little bit of compression. Put a little delay and reverb on it, just a little bit to give it some ambience, right? Now, when you play slide, you're gonna, since we just learned the way to play this with frets, fretting it, right? You got to remember, a slide is played right on the metal fret. The fret is the wire. It's not the space between the wires. It's actually the wire that's above where your finger is. So every time we play a note, we're going to be putting the slide right over that fret wire, and we want to slide into it and then move the slide back and forth above and below the wire ever so slightly to give it kind of this sound. And that gives our ear a chance to grab that note without identifying that it's either flat or sharp. It helps you keep pitch on the note when you're up and above and below the note. If the note is here and you're sliding like this, it's going to sound like in your ear that you're on key. Much like when a vocalist adds vibrato to a note. All right, cool. So I always keep my palm on the strings like this so I can control the string noise, because when you're laying your slide on the strings, you're moving it all over the place, and you might hear extraneous noise. So with your hand on the strings, you're going to mute everything, and that's key, right? Especially since you've got distortion on it. So I'm going to slide into these frets like this. All right, something like that. So I'm right on this fret wire. And go. Now you hear, sometimes you hear both of those notes together. You hear that, and that's where I'm switching string. And it's cool to get a little bit of those dyads going on. That last part I'm going to be on the 15th fret on the B string and go down to the 14th. I'm going to slide into this and then hit the G string on the 14th, like, and then bring that B string back up to the 15th. It's hard to go. You gotta be right on those notes. So that's how you do that part with the slide. Learn the melody first with your fingers. Learn how to slide into it and really make it feel really passionate and really emotional when you fret it. And if you feel adventurous, switch over to a slide and try to practice it like that. A lot of guys play slide with open tuning to a chord, but this is, you got to be a little trickier with this one because you're doing single note stuff, and the guitar's tuned to standard, so it's a little more complicated. All right, so let's talk about the solo, the G minor pentatonic thing. So the primary solo in this is played out of the main box shape of pentatonic minor that most of us know, which is this G minor shape. Except he's up 12 frets up here. With some exceptions. One box shape that you can learn, there's another variation of this position down here. If you start on the G on the 10th fret on the A string and go. That's another really nice position that was really popular in classic and southern rock. And I'll explain that and why that's important in a minute. But up here in this position, up here, I'm going to give you some tips on some of the things that they do in the song. One of the licks, he's going like... So what I'm doing is... That's just a 2-note lick, and it's on the B string. I'm on the 18th fret, and then I'm on the 15th fret. So I'm going to bend up one step on the 18th. I'm going to hit it 4 times. That last time I'm going. So the first 3, it's going to come down. You're playing a melody by bending it. It's cool. And another thing he does is, this is a lick that is really overdone, but it's really effective. Everybody does it and we all love it. I'm on the 15th or the 17th fret on the G, and I'm bending up with my ring finger, and I'm reinforcing it with my middle finger so I can push it up. That's a whole step, and then pinky on the 18th, like that. You can play them separately, like, or you can play them together, where you hear them. Or you can pluck them all together like this. So separately, or when you hear the notes, or together. Now add a lot of vibrato to these things, like what I did there is went right down the pentatonic. Another lick he does is 18th fret on the B, bend it up a step, and then hit the 18th with your pinky on the high E. If you take that same lick and move it up here on the 22nd fret, he does this one. That one's really hard to get because you run out of room on a Les Paul. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's see what else. He does this thing that goes. One trick to that is it's a 3-note lick. And you can do it starts with an up pick and then there's a down pick. And there's a pull off in the middle of it. So I'm on the 18th on the B, pulling off to the 15th. So up pick and pull off. And then down pick the 17th fret on the G. And repeat, go. Right? So you. Now you can play this up here on the high E string in the pentatonic shape and go. You can go down on the 17th fret on the G string and go. Now this position I showed you down here, you can do these patterns down here too, like it's the same picking and pattern type shape, but they're different notes. So if you switch positions and do the same patterns, it sounds different because you're playing different notes, and you can it'll really open up a lot of cool little licks for you the way that it sounds. It'll be fresher to you. One other thing that it'll do, it'll go like this. That's a 4-note lick. It's kind of like the one I just showed you, but it's start on a down pick on the 18th fret on the B, pull off to the 15th, and then down pick on the 17th fret on the G, and then up pick high E on the 15th. So it's down, down, up on your picking with a pull off on the second note. So they're really in a groove in this song, so there's a lot of repetition. A lot of times you can play, you know, this. Stuff like that, and just go nuts. Change the position down here and be like, and you can go. If you get bored, you can play down here a little bit, but pretty much way up here is where they're doing all that stuff, and that'll get you on the road to doing really cool improv over any rock song, metal song, and southern rock, obviously. I encourage you to listen to like a backing track for Freebird, and then pick, you know, start in G minor. We're in G minor, and work on G minor for a while and get familiar with the two positions I showed you, and then try to do other backing tracks like in A minor or B minor, and learn different positions in different keys, and that'll help you so when you play other songs that are not in G minor, you can actually jam on them. And learning these positions throughout the neck is really helpful, and that's your next step to improv and getting to know the fretboard better. You don't necessarily need to know the notes. It's good if you know the notes, but if you know the patterns and the shapes, that's really the most important thing in my opinion, and then the feel behind it and playing on time and phrasing. I keep saying more and more things, and this and that, and learn this, but really phrasing and knowing the box shapes and playing on time is really important. I hope this lesson was helpful. Go out and play Freebird, get you a $100 tip in your tip bucket, and enjoy it. It's a great song. Skynyrd are a great band. They deserve all the respect and admiration that they can get. Hope that you enjoyed the lesson. If you did, please consider subscribing, comment below, and as always, have a great day. Peace out.